Hello everyone, and let's talk about all the queuing that's going on over the M1-4X companion or Lieutenant Pierce if you're an Imperial player. M1-4X, of course, is the droid that you get when you are a trooper. He's one of your companions. I think you get him after Nar Shaddaa in the storyline, the pre-Knights of the Fallen Empire storyline. So he is a pretty cool droid. He was a tank back then, so I never really used them much on my Vanguard because my Vanguard was a tank. But yeah, a lot of people complaining about how you get him now. Should point out that M1-4X is a Republic Patriot and he hates the Imperials, of course. And Lieutenant Pierce is a trooper serving in the Imperial Army. Lieutenant Pierce you get as part of the Sith Warrior storyline as well. He's part of your Marauders and your Juggernauts. Get him. I think it's after... can't remember what planet. I think it's after Taris or something like that. I can't exactly remember the Warrior storyline too well. But yeah, you get him after that. And of course, if you are a Sith Warrior, you get him after Chapter 9 in Knights of the Fallen Empire. Just by virtue of he knows you, basically. So again, as an Imperial Trooper, he hates Republic. Now, this is relevant because the objective to get him is to play 20 Warzone matches. That is it. You don't have to win them. You just have to play them. I think it's 20, I think it's just 20 PvP matches. I don't know because my main's a trooper and the only person I finished the story with is a trooper. So I just went, found him on Coruscant and spoke to him. And you just get him. And you get 1,000 Warzone comms as well at the end of that. So that's pretty nice for if you're a PvPer. Now, why is everyone complaining about this? Well, everyone's saying you're being forced. BioWare forcing you. Choking you. They're strangling you. They'll threaten to strangle your kittens if you don't, or any pet that you have. They're holding up your family at gunpoint and forcing you to do it. They're saying, get that PvP done now. There you go. That's what people on the forums have been saying. We're getting forced into it. BioWare are going to drown kittens if you don't do PvP. That's exact. It's just a complete over-exaggeration, and people are calling for this PvP requirement to be removed. Now, my opinion is it shouldn't be removed. Okay, it's for a companion quest. Companions are cosmetic in 4.0. Let's be honest, they are cosmetic. Okay, we don't have to gear them. They don't have a unique role anymore. They can play all 3 roles. So that's like saying remove the Flashpoint quest requirement for HK51. No, you're not going to do that because it's part of the quest line. If you want M1-4X and you're not a trooper, you got to do PvP. Okay, simple as that. It's simple as that. You don't have to win. If you choose to sit AFK in a war zone, that's up to you. Okay, people will hate you for it, and most of the PvP community will kind of shun you for it. And bear in mind, gearing in PvP should we say, is actually quite beneficial to PvE. If you're doing level synced content, getting the 204 PvP gear is way better than getting the 208 PvE gear, and even the 216 and 220 non-set bonus PvE gear, should we say. It's better because bear in mind your things get scaled, your stats get scaled down, but your set bonus, that's the thing, you can get a 6-piece set bonus really easily from PvP gear. The set bonus is the same. They also combine quite nicely with the set bonus of your PvE. Okay, you can have a PvP helmet and a PvE chest piece, and you get the 2, if they're both set bonus pieces, you'll get the 2-piece set bonus. So it is a benefit. It's actually a benefit if you're if you're doing story mode ops, if you're not a progression raider, then getting PvP gear is beneficial. And it's more beneficial with the bolster system because it's always going to be an advantage to have the set bonus than have the gear, because your gear stats are going to get bolstered anyway. So having the 6-piece set bonus is going to be a slight advantage. And bear in mind, you don't need the set bonus for story mode ops or hard mode flashpoints, but it is an advantage. And same with level synced content, it's actually more of a benefit. PvP gear with sort of crit augments and is a nice benefit, the way the gearing system works, especially for level synced content. Actually having that set bonus Because bear in mind, the set bonus is roughly about a 5% DPS increase over your rotation. So, you know, it works out, averages out. Some classes it benefits more than others, but, you know, it just is a kind of averaged out thing. So if you really want a set bonus in 4.0, PvP is the way to go. So, you know, there is a good reason for PvEers to do PvP in this game. You can get the set bonus, and you can have, you know, it works well when doing level synced content. Much better than the PvE gear. The PvE gear is a bit irrelevant these days. What are they? The common, radiant, and glowing. Or glowing's the elite, and radiant's the ultimate comms. Common is the basic comms. They're kind of worthless in this expansion. Worthless already. They provide not a huge benefit in level sync content. Bear in mind that tertiary stats tend to provide you with the biggest benefit in level synced content, because your crit percentage chance doesn't really drop a huge amount. Your crit drops, and power drops off big style. Your mastery drops off big style, but your crit percentage and your alacrity kind of stayed the same. So having 34% crit at level 65, I think I have like 32% crit at level 18, which is still a huge advantage. So having more crit is definitely an advantage. So you can see why people are going for eviscerating crystals. They're quite big. I think a lot of people saying they are the best way to go in terms of gearing. So, you know, and having the set bonus is, again, it's like, you know, you hit an ability. The 2p set bonus generally is use ability X, get 2% damage for, I'm talking about DPS set bonuses, get 2% damage for the next 15 seconds. So that 2% damage boost for those 15 seconds applies regardless of what level you are. Okay, you're being synced down to 18, fine, it's going to be an advantage over someone who doesn't have the set bonus. Okay, and also your big your big sort of personal cooldown gets lowered as well. Generally one of your big personal cooldowns gets lowered as the 4-piece, and the 6-piece generally is like an auto crit. Generally something will always crit, and again making crit more important because crit affects crit multiplier. So I don't know, there's plenty of good reasons to do PvP. Yes, the PvP kind of sucks. True, the PvP is kind of awful. But then again, class balance is nowhere to be found again in this expansion. Tactics Vanguard's alright in PvP, actually. I had fun with it, you know. I got quite a few PvP items. I got six of the 204 things. I think it's, I have to hit Valor 40. I never really bothered ranking her Valor up. I did PvP while leveling as the Vanguard, but it's okay. Tactics is not too bad, really. I did an arena trying to kill a Sork Healer. That was an impossible task. Teleporting sons of bitches that they are. Oh my god, trying to kill them. You pull them in, teleport away. Yeah, knew that was gonna happen. Pull them in, you gotta stun them really quickly because they're really quick with that teleport. I really should get the utility that using the harpoon immobilizes them. That would be helpful for PvP. But I hate the fact you can't respec utilities before the match starts. That's really annoying. I always queue. And then I go, oh shit, I got my PvE utilities, and I'm like, ah shit, you know, this sucks. Okay, this really sucks to go in there with that. And so just let us respec. When the match starts, we shouldn't be allowed to respec, but before the match starts, we should be allowed to respec, really. We can re-equip gear as well, you know, while we're doing that. So PvP gear, it's really easy to obtain PvP gear in this expansion as well. It's ridiculously easy. 200,000 Warzone comms is your cap. Again, I recommend getting the PvP relics for PvE. They're only, I think, 250 comms each, 500 comms, you know, and they're better than the commendation PvE relics, which kind of suck. It's not the fact that they're actually bad stat-wise. I mean, they have decent boosts. It's that they're not proc relics. They are relics you have to activate, which just adds 2 keybinds that you don't need. I mean, it just adds 2 more cooldowns to keep track of as well, which is a pain in the arse if you're a DPS. Just adds more buttons to press, adds more complexity to our rotation. The proc ones can proc at the wrong time, but generally for a DPS that's not a huge issue, because we're always doing damage, okay? It's doing damage that causes them to proc, so we're always going to be doing damage as a DPS. The boss always has to die. Something is always there to be killed. It's not like a healer where, you know, there's downtime with the healing and you're like, ah shit, both my relics have proc. But we end up taking the procy relics anyway. And they are quite good. They are, I think, better than the 216 ones. I've seen some of the 216 ones. The stats, the passive stats are worse off, but the actual proc is pretty nice. The mastery or power gain. I don't know if it's worth taking a crit one. Maybe Devastating Vengeance, maybe. Haven't had the chance to test it out yet. But we'll do so. I mean, I actually enjoyed doing PvP today. Although fighting that sorcerer in an arena was quite annoying. Trying to kill them is difficult. I also think that the static barrier lasts too long. Now, I really feel it just lasts an insane amount of time, and it takes an insane amount of damage. Like my what's it called? My assault plastique, couldn't even take it off. Assault plastique, gut, stock strike, still had static barrier up. It's like, Jesus, everything is absorbed. I don't know if the debuffs went on or not, and then I fired my energy blast, and it was like just 17k crit energy blast and 1 heal. That's all I did, just sat and healed through it. Just hit 1 heal, and that was it. Just hit a roaming mend, and it just bounced back, and that was it. I was like, whoa, full health again. So there needs to be some balance with those OP sorcerers, I think. And assassins are fucking dicks as well. They're annoying pains in the arse, really, to be honest with you. But there you go. So I actually kill a sorcerer in this video if you watch it. I don't know if you'll see it or not, but I actually got a kill in the end. I managed to kill a sorcerer as a vanguard. I do have some PvP gear on, the rest of it's all PvE. I've got the main hand, the offhand. Belt and bracers are very good if you want the set bonus. That's my tip for you for gearing. Belt and bracers, buy the PvP ones, 204. They have more power in them than the 208s, and power is the tertiary stat, and you can just augment their mastery endurance to make up for it. And there you go. And they're virtually better off. You get more power and the set bonus. So there you go. I will do a video on gearing in 4.0. So anyway, thank you for joining me for this video. And quit complaining, because the point I'm trying to make is that if you don't want to do PvP, you don't want Pierce or 4X. Okay? You don't need them for anything. It's not necessary. It's not a requirement. It's just a cosmetic thing. If you don't like PvP, don't do it. There you go. Don't do it. Okay. There's nothing written in any game that you should have access to 100% of the content. When you're playing an MMO, you should expect that you have to do certain things, grouping up with others. Their PvP quests. It is a reward for PvPers as well, which is nice to see them putting a reward in the game. But just quit complaining about it, because PvP is part of the game. It's part of the game whether you like it or not. I don't do PvP, I'm a PvE person, but I respect the fact that PvP is part of the game. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with there being PvP specific rewards. I'm okay with it being a PvP specific companion. I'm fine with that. If I don't want M1-4X on my ult, I'll choose not to do PvP. I'm not going to complain about it though. I'm just not going to complain too much about it, but you know, it's just, I'm just gonna go get another companion. It's like complaining about Kaizen. Oh, I have to kill world bosses to get Kaizen, and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. What it does is it gets people to do content, you know, which is good. It's a good part of the alliance. We will do a video on the alliance system more in depth later on when we get more into it, but anyway, that is all for this video. The alliance system is a good idea. I think it's a very good idea overall. It does allow, you know, it gets you into the world, gets you doing content. It's a good idea overall in the game. It works really nicely with the level sync. So thank you for joining me for this video, and I'll see you again soon, and quit fucking complaining, and goodbye.